Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Good Intentions with Lisa-Tien. That is me. Very low energy, very 8:30 p.m., 9 p.m. I don't even know. I just painted my toes, so I'm just trying to kill some time for them to dry. My toes actually look not great, but it just is what it is. Forcing myself to record because I have been slacking off, and yeah, I actually was more motivated to record this episode when I thought about it earlier today, when I was like driving home from work. It's also a Monday, and usually I have Mondays off, but I work this Monday for one of my clients. Yeah, so driving home, like headed to the grocery store, I was like, oh my god, I can just like record an episode. And and now here we are, not very much wanting to do it, but doing it anyway. That is the very on brand of the day today. My face is very shiny, oily, dewy. Summer is coming to an end, so I feel like naturally I'm just, not really wanting to eat a crazy amount, not really wanting to binge eat, not really, like I'm just naturally on my own, like without even trying, just like falling asleep earlier. It's like kind of insane. I don't even know. And I just now, maybe like last week, started to listen to my podcast that I always listen to, the personal development types of podcasts. So like naturally my body was just, I don't know if it's just like getting in tune, like summer's over, partying's over, slacking off's over, like the break is over. It's time to get back to some shit. Because again, things that I struggled with getting back to over the summer, now all of a sudden it's just happening on its own, and I'm riding it. All right. We're struggling, sleeping through our alarm, not waking up, and only going to the gym like 2 or 3 times a week, door dashing, junk food, fast food, desserts, like whatever, impulsive. And now it's just like, I just ate an ice cream sandwich and I didn't even want to finish all of it. It's like a skinny cow, whatever, healthy type, not like terrible, but yeah, eating more fruit, back to the gym 5 days a week, 5 to 6 days, just rocking and rolling, and I'm here for it. Mentally as well. In the last episode, and I don't remember their nicknames, but I guess this episode will be about that, right? So in the last episode, I said I was rooting for, do I call him Sweet BB? Sweet BB. Ended up, kind of just blowing me off there. And for some reason with him, I was like very down bad. And I felt more down bad about that than I did with Sweet Baby Angel last year. And I was asking my friends, I was like, wait, was I like down bad last year with Sweet Baby Angel? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, really? Because I don't remember that. But with Sweet BB, this time around, I was a little down bad, kind of spiraling, kind of felt that anxiety, kind of, was in fight or flight, whatever, programmed, subconscious, old self coming through when I felt him kind of just pull away a little bit. And then the instant anxiety, instant stress of it all. And I think it was because I was actually intimate with him. Yeah. It had just been a while, since I've had a sweet little connection like that. And whether it was real or not, whether he was just wanting to hook up or not, those little moments were just very nice. Like, it felt really good to feel good. You know, it felt good to like be excited about someone. Actually, like, I actually liked him. But did I? Because again, it's this whole ADHD hyperfixation. Like, I forget exactly what I said in the last episode, but I knew that talking to him constantly and talking on the phone, hanging out with him every day, that like I was instantly going to get attached, and I was going to try not to, you know, hook up with him or hook up with anyone anytime soon. But because of us hanging out every day that first week and kind of talking a little bit before then, and by the second date, though, I kind of already felt some type of way. Like, I remember our first date, he took me to the Dallas Arboretum. I stopped and got some pre-rolls, so we smoked in the car before walking around. And he had something to do. I had another date after that, and I just was like really excited to see him again compared to the rest of the guys for some reason. And I can't quite explain why specifically him. I think it was the Delulu part of, oh, he's taking me to the Dallas Arboretum, which is somewhere I've been wanting to go for months, something that I have been bringing up to these other guys to kind of like low-key test them to see if they would actually take me. And he did. And I remember saying to myself, before I even met him, before we even matched, that like, the person that takes me to the Arboretum, I'll probably hook up with him. Like, I remember thinking that and saying that. And I think because of the fact that he did take me to the Arboretum, I was like, okay, like, he might want more, because a lot of guys want to do like, and I don't want to use the word low effort, maybe more like low commitment type dates, you know, like for a drink or for gelato, which was a date that I did. And, you know, they don't want to invest too much on something in case like it doesn't work out or whatever. So again, like after the first date, if they weren't down to take me to the Arboretum, I'm just like, this ain't nothing then, you know, because someone that is interested in dating you would do that. And so I got caught up in that delulu of him taking me. And then, you know, we met there, like he offered to pick me up. I was like, no way. Because I didn't want him to drive. Like, he lives in Addison. I didn't want him to drive all the way to me, just to drive all the way back in that direction. And, yeah, so then after we went to eat, because both of us were hungry, he chose a burger joint. It was delicious. He, again, was like, I'll drive. And, you know, a lot of it is probably literally none of it, I don't think, is even princess treatment, if we want to compare, if we want to say bare minimum or princess treatment. But I just enjoyed being around him. Like, I just liked his energy. He was fun and goofy. And I thought he was super cute. And you guys know I love a tall boy. And he was 6'4", or is 6'4". So I could feel myself being anxious. And I think 2 different times I kind of was like, you know, crashing out. When he kind of like pulled back, I didn't really say anything until like it had been a few days of us just basically like playing tag via texting. But really it was just me like tagging him or like running after him to finally tag him. And then he would like tag me right back. And then it was just me like, you know, running around And that reference is into me waiting around for him to text back. And I just like knew it. I was like, oh my God, like I am already feeling some type of way. And it's, you know, one thing to be aware. Obviously, I'm going to allow myself to feel whatever I want to feel. I completely like isolated and just wanted to be by myself. Like work had a pool party, like coworker birthday pool party. And I was like, I just don't want to be social. Like I just want to lay in bed. I just want to like chill and not think about, or try not to think about, why this boy hasn't like really been texting me that much. And I even said before all of this, I was like, bro, if I get played by a 24-year-old, I'm gonna crash out. And so then I'm pretty sure I already talked about this in the last episode, but he did explain to me why he had been MIA-ish. And I thought that, you know, that then everything was okay. But then there were a couple more days of the same where he just really wasn't texting that much. And so then I didn't say anything. I think, yeah. I just like deleted his phone number and deleted like his contact and deleted his text thread. And then the very next morning, he texts me again, apologizes. Everything's good. Everything checked out. Like he's all, we're fine. Right. So then we're like texting like normal again. And then he wants to see me, but he had a work thing after work and didn't think the work thing was going to take long. And by the time, you know, he's still texting me, like, I think we're going to be done at 9:30. And I was like, like it's kind of late. And I was like, let's just hang out tomorrow. And he was like, haha, that's fine. Miss you. And then tomorrow came and I texted him and I said, hey, I get off of work at this time. How about you come over? We can go do something, or you can just like chill at my place. And he was like, yeah, sounds good, or whatever. I might not have my car, but I'll Uber if I have to. It's like, ew, I don't really want you to have to Uber. Like I can come to you. It's no work. It's no big deal. And he was like, you sure? And I was like, yeah, I get off at this time. If you're home, then I could just like come over. We can, you know, chill or whatever. And then he just didn't text back. And I figured, you know, well, maybe he's taking a nap or whatever. So I finished, you know, work. And then I called him after I was done and he didn't answer. And I was like, okay. And then a couple hours out, I just texted him a question mark and he didn't respond. And I was like, oh, okay. Kind of just spiraled. Because what I was like spiraling and crashing out on, not necessarily of him like just ghosting or whatever, but it was me being concerned about like misjudging him, because I felt like, you know, all the work that I put in to heal and process everything, I feel like I can sense people's vibes. Like, you know, all these other dates that I went on, there was always something that was like a red flag, like an alert, where in the moment I wouldn't really know exactly why I was having this like inkling or suspicion. But it would just always, again, and I refer to it as collecting data. Like it would just be this piece of data where I'm like, huh. And then, you know, it goes into my brain and then I process it after a couple of days and I'm like, oh yeah, like that kind of feels weird. That's a little sketchy, but we'll keep an eye out on it. And then, you know, then things kind of just fizzle and I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Checks out. Makes sense. Like, you know, player vibes or this, that, or whatever. But with him, he just gave me like all around wholesome, sweet, just kind, maybe almost like a people pleaser, or I don't know, but he just seemed really safe. And I think because obviously with my experience with my ex-husband, that was not a safe feeling. And I've only ever, like we had Sweet Baby Angel. That didn't necessarily feel safe because I was still going through all the stuff with the divorce. It was definitely like a trauma bond, or another Delulu ADHD obsession. And then Side Piece, that was a trauma bond, like, hated that. Obviously didn't feel safe with him, and then all the dates and stuff like that were fun. There wasn't really anyone that like maybe I would get close to or thinking about being intimate with, but I kind of just look at them and I'm just like, I don't think this is it, like there's just something off, something that my intuition is telling me. But with Sweet B, there wasn't any kind of like alert, although there were two things that he said where I was like, that's crazy. Not crazy, but like a little phobic. But it just, I'm not political. I'm not political at all. He says he's not political, but if he were, he would lean towards the right. I said I'm not political, but if I were, I would lean towards the left. It's not a topic that I'm educated on. And to be honest, like, how do we know really what's the truth? If that's ignorant of me, then it is what it is. But like, even before watching Scandal, but now watching Scandal, I'm like, those people, they have so much power and money and whatever. We have no idea what goes on behind the scenes. Like, I feel like all of this being stirred up is to create a divide. And if we allow that to happen, then how do we win? We're not winning. So I choose love. I choose peace. And that's just me. It just is what it is. Anyway, there were a couple of things that he said where I was like, oh, that's like my jaw dropped. And I would just be like, what? And, but overall, he was just very sweet. And I think it was just really lovely to like experience like this younger guy, tall, super cute, super sweetie, feeling, again, I keep saying safe. Like, I think it's because he's not intimidating, and that feels nice. Do we know if it's actually real, like what I feel towards him, or if it's just the idea? But I did very much enjoy our short time together, and I was very much looking forward to seeing more of him. The other day, so this was probably 2 weeks ago, right? And I crashed out. And the other guy, what did I nickname him? Unk? Right? I was also talking to him as well. And we went out on our first date finally after like a month of talking because he was recovering from surgery. Although we did FaceTime, and I think I mentioned this in the last episode, but we did FaceTime and we were on the phone together for 8 hours. So I was like, interesting. Although while I was on the phone with him, this was the first round of Sweet B not really texting back as much. So I was very much aware that he had not texted me yet. So every few moments, I kind of just space out and I'm like, oh, he still hasn't texted me. So I think with Unk, old man Unk, maybe it was just more of like a distraction for me. Although I did like him. I liked the both of them. And honestly, I definitely liked Sweet Bee more, but I felt like the more practical choice would have been Unk. But, I was still like very like, I don't know, we'll just feel it out. We'll feel it out, right? And so we went on our first date. And that first date just happened to be the day after Sweet Bee blew me off. I'm going to be completely honest. I mean, I'm pretty honest in every freaking episode. I'm going to be like very honest in this episode. So, yeah, we're at dinner. This is with Unk. Very much like trying to pick myself up by my bootstraps and, just on to the next. Like, this has been our attitude all summer long with all these guys that didn't pan out, boom, next, boom, next. He didn't work out for me. Doesn't mean that something else isn't working. Doesn't mean that all does not mean that it doesn't mean that it's working out for me. Just because something is not working out for me doesn't mean that things are not working for me, because they are, right? That has been my mindset this whole last year. Any interaction with whatever guy, boom, next, getting closer to the one, right? But with Sweet Bee, it was like very difficult in a sense where like I did not expect to like this person as much as I did, and it kind of just sucked feeling like I got it wrong. Like, I felt like this person was a certain way, and now I'm wondering if he really wasn't what I thought, like if he played games, if he just like put on this act. It was very much trauma from waking up to who my ex-husband was, like just being la-di-da-di-da and missing all the red flags and ignoring all of that and not seeing him for who he actually was, to see like that there's just no emotion, like in his eyes, in his face, like to finally just wake up and see that. So when Sweet Bee just like completely blew me off, I was like, wait a minute. What? I thought that this person was like, a certain way, and that if he wasn't interested, then he would say something. But then also, he has 150 something unopened texts. He's 24, might just not be mature enough in that aspect to communicate. If it means potentially hurting someone's feelings, I don't know. Maybe he didn't care to. Maybe, there could be lots of reasons as to why he didn't say anything. Right? And I left my flannel over there. So a couple days after, I kind of just texted him and I was like, hey, I'd like to get my flannel today. He was at like a work thing or a happy hour or whatever. And then he was like, oh, well, it's right by my apartment, so I could just come home and I'll just leave here, blah, blah, blah. Drove out there, grabbed my flannel, had like a little awkward talk, like an awkward chat. I was like, I'm not going to tell him how I feel because I already did a little bit, like twice during my little freak out. And it's just, like embarrassing if you've already talked about how you felt and they don't like say anything, because they don't feel the same or they don't know how to express themselves. Either way, it just is what it is. And whatever it is that I was wanting, it's just not going to be with that person. And again, it is what it is. However, right, that was 2 weeks ago. got my flannel back and everything. I said that I was going to block his phone number and block him on Instagram because, like, he's dead to me, right? Like, that's just, you know, I just feel like it's common courtesy to say something. But that's just me. If I ghost someone, it's someone I haven't met, you know. But again, I'm 31. I've learned how to have awkward conversations, and especially via text. It's not that difficult for me, you know. Maybe he's avoidant, maybe this, maybe that, blah, blah, blah. So the other day, Saturday, all right, the 4 days before then, the three days before then, I was thinking of how I just wanted to text him so bad. Like, I just wanted to be like, hey, just to see if he would respond, if anything. And every day I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it because I feel like if I do it, then I'm going to feel shame about it, blah, blah, blah. And then Saturday came and I was like, you know what? I'm going to eat these gummies that I have and I'm just going to text him because whatever. Like, I want to talk to him and I want to see him. I want to feel what I felt. Even if it's, you know, not gonna go anywhere. And so I did. And he responded. No, he just texted me. And I hate that. I hate that I just get all smiley. But anyway, all right. I texted him. He was down to hang out. I had a dinner or whatever. I stayed up fucking late watching Kill Tony. And then he finally texted me. And I drove over there. And, you know, we smoked. I took a shot. He was already drinking. We ate these shroom gummies that I had. And I was barely hanging on by a thread. Like, I was so fucked up. I was trying not to freak out. I was trying really hard not to freak out, but I was freaking out. I was like, any motion, any movement took so much out of me. And like, when I knew I was going down bad was when he asked me, because his roommate had left some like chocolate covered strawberries, frozen chocolate covered strawberries. I've actually bought them before at Target. They have like the strawberries and raspberries. Anyway, he fed me one and I was struggling to eat it because obviously it's cold, right? And each bite was just more cold and each bite became more mush filling up my mouth with my cold teeth being fucked up. I was like, how many more chews? How many more chews do I have until I can swallow this? Because I might choke right now. Like, it was so intense. And so then, like, he grabbed me more water, sat back down. I just, like, laid on top of him. And he just, like, held me. And I remember just laying there and I was like, I know that I'm on drugs right now. But it just felt so nice. Like, I just loved being held. It was lovely. And you know what was more lovely? Whether he, you know, like, do I actually know him? I don't. I would like to, you know, but what I felt like I did know was that this person isn't a piece of shit. garbage human. And I hate that I just said piece of shit garbage human, but like this person that's holding me in his arms isn't a malicious person that manipulates people and forces himself onto people in any kind of way to get what he wants, you know? And that felt really nice to me. And I really enjoy kissing him. And I don't think that I enjoyed kissing anybody else that I have from the divorce to now like that. The first couple guys that I went on dates with, Divorce Daddy and Boo, the first kisses that I had with both of them felt magical because I was high. But that was only the first kiss. Both with Divorce Daddy and Boo, the second kisses were like, you know, where you can taste more of their spit and it's just like, you know, you're like chasing that high because the first kiss was so like magical. The second kisses from each of them were just not. But with Sweet Bee, every time we kiss, it's like, I very much love it. It was a beautiful experience for me. You know, just overall, I was on my period. Which I told him, I was like, by the way, I'm on my period. So if it affects whether or not you want me to come over. He was like, we don't have to have sex. I was like, okay. You know, making out with him was fun. But yeah, so like I just laid there. And I remember when I sat up off of him, he was like, are you okay? And I was like, no, I don't think so. I was like, I'm going to take a Xanax. Because I brought them just in case. I gave him one. And then I was like, yeah, I just need to lay down. But like me trying to do anything, I was afraid to do anything because I was like, I hope I don't pass out. Like, I don't want to pass out. I can't pass out. Like, that's what I was afraid of because it felt like that. Like, it felt like if I stood for a moment too long that I would just completely like fall over. But anyway, I told him and then he just like walked me to the bed and, you know, made out a little more, fell asleep. Woke up, had sex, went back to sleep, showered, went back to sleep, and then woke up and had sex and showered and then kissed. And then I left. And I was like, that was really nice in my head, you know? And I texted him and I was like, I had a really fun time with you. And he said, me too. And today I did a lot of listening to Joe Dispenza and Jay Shetty and Lewis Howes and all of that. A lot of like AI fucking Joe Dispenza videos. Like they just use his voice. I'm pretty sure it's not even him. Maybe they like find different videos of him speaking and kind of just like put it together. But anyway, it's like one of those videos. And now I'm like showing off my arms. And the video that I was listening today on repeat, I listened to it about 4 or 5 times, was like, we do not chase, we don't this, blah, 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 attract, like letting go. So that whole video is basically talking about how when we are love, we will not look for love because we are love, right? We are only in search for things that we do not have and things that we feel like we don't have, we actually will repulse instead of attract. So it's a lot of me just like rewiring my brain, as in like, you've already put yourself out there with this person If he doesn't recognize, if anybody, like any of these guys do not recognize, do not see you and recognize value or see something beautiful, or if they're even capable of receiving or giving to someone beautiful and that could light up their world, and in turn they can light up that person's world. You know what I mean? Like, if they are not in that space, if they don't have that capacity to look at you and be like, wow, you're amazing and I want you in my life and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get you and to keep you and also to love you back. Right? If they don't have the capability to do that, they can't do that. So it's like, if they can't do that, you can't keep wanting them, because you have to want yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to be your own validation. It's like, someone that doesn't want to be with you, they don't want to be with you. And it doesn't have anything to do with you. It doesn't make you any less than, any less beautiful, anything. Whatever the reason is, it's them. Whether they're just not emotionally available or capable, or maybe they're just not that into you for whatever reason, you know? Everyone has their reasons. And it just is what it is, right? But someone else out there will look at you and be like, holy fucking shit, you're beautiful. You're amazing. You're loving. You're caring. Like, you are everything that I've ever wanted in this whole entire world. And I just want to make you happy and love you. Like, someone else out there will do that. Someone else out there will be that, will want to be that. So it's like, we can't keep wasting our time and breath on someone that doesn't see who you're going to become, is a quote from the videos that I was listening to today. So like, I had a very wonderful experience with Sweet Bee when we were quote unquote talking. And then I had a beautiful experience with him when I went over there the other day. I don't feel shame about it. I don't. And I'm really glad that I don't, because I did have a really good time with him. I was like, I don't want to be staying up late, like kind of having this fear that he was going to blow me off again, because Side Piece did that all the time. But I, in that moment, was practicing just like letting go. Like, sure, we'll just stay up and watch Kill Tony, you know? Like, I always say no to him whenever it's late in the night. Like, I just don't want to drive out there. And I kind of was just like, just leave your phone over here. Like, don't be looking at it. Just watch the show. And, you know, he gave me a time when he said he was going to get home, and he held up to it. I went over there. We had a great time. I had an amazing time. Like, when I say this person's really sweet, like, he is very sweet in how he like speaks and how he like holds me and stuff. I just really like him, and I like that. I like how I feel when I'm with him. And today, yeah, just rewiring my brain, like letting go. We're not chasing. We're not going to be like, oh, he hasn't texted me yet. You know, I kind of just accepted today, literally today. And as I'm rewiring my brain, meal prepping in the kitchen, I'm listening to this video over and over and over again. And I'm like, I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. Like, I'm not going to text him. Like, we had fun. If he wants anything, he's going to reach out to me. And if he doesn't, then that's the answer, you know? And then I'm minding my own business, recording this episode, and he texts me. So, is he just wanting to hook up? I don't know. But I also did not address him blowing me off. And I said that if we hang out again, I'm going to bring it up. So, if we hang out again, I'm going to bring it up. And well, I guess I'll just ask him, are you like just trying to hook up? Like, what's the dealio? And I'm going to leave it right there because I got to grab the laundry. Hopefully my toes are dry enough. Yeah. So that's my rewrap. Ooh, but I didn't tell you guys. Okay, so with Unk, right? After our first date, halfway through the first date, I started getting emotional in my head because I was like, I don't feel what I felt when I was out with Sweet Bee. And it was just a bummer because like this guy, Unk, I've been talking to for a few weeks, and I kind of figured like, right, he already told me he's an old man. 26, but an old man. It's not the age, it's the mileage, is what he would say. And I was like, okay, well, maybe we'll balance each other out, right? So like at the dinner, it was just very hard for me to stay focused on anything that he was saying. Like I had to force myself to like listen and zone out any other sounds going on in the restaurant, which the restaurant was not busy and it was small, but like for some reason every noise felt and sounded loud to me except for my date's voice. So it was just very overwhelming. And he would just go on and on and on, and I just tried but didn't feel really interested in anything he was saying. But I couldn't tell if it was just because I was hung up on Sweet Bee, right? Because he just blew me off the day before this date with this other person. So I was like, okay. I went home after the date. Like usually on these dates, like I don't ever want to leave. Like I kind of want to just keep hanging out with him. But with him, like I was like, I'm ready to go. Like I'm ready. I want to smoke and I want to lay down. So, because he was like, so what do you want to do? Like, do you want to go get dessert or grab a drink or this, that, or whatever? And I was like, honestly, I think I'm ready to lay down. And he was like, that's fair. And I was like, I'm going to give you a hug. Gave him a hug. And then I left. But then I was like, oh my God, I didn't even text him thank you. Like, that's crazy. So I texted him and I was like, also, oh my God, can't believe that I didn't say thank you for dinner. Thank you so much for dinner. Hope to see you again. And so that date was on Saturday, right? We're already talking about a second date. I'm already thinking, I don't know, like, I feel like I should give him another chance, but technically that was the second date. Technically, our FaceTime call was the first date, and I kind of felt the same. Right, and I kind of kept thinking about it, and I was just like, maybe I'll give him another shot, but then I was like, I don't want to waste his time. Like, I don't feel excited. I don't feel, like the conversation's fun at all whatsoever. And so I just told him, I was like, hey, I've been thinking, I don't think we're a good fit. I was like, I don't know. I kept going back and forth between if I want to do a second date, and I kind of just don't really want to waste your time. Something came up recently that's made me feel like, I don't know, it's hard to be present. I was like talking to my client today, or even my friends last night. Like I felt like I just couldn't be present and listen to what they were saying. Like I keep spacing off, and he was like, oh, well, that really sucks. And I hope everything's okay. Like I still don't really understand, but I'll respect your choice. And I was like, well, to clarify, I was, but now I don't feel like I'm emotionally available, and I don't want to waste your time and drag you along. So I very much enjoyed talking to you. And then that was that. And then he texted me 2 days after, checking in, asking if I was okay. And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. I just kind of disassociated a little bit. But that is that. So what did I learn today? Really really love me, appreciate me, get that bad bitch energy back. And, I'm a firecracker. I'm a light. And if these guys don't see it, then they don't see it and they're not for me. And we move on. So, and regardless, everything works out for you. Everything works out. All right, I gotta go. This light is so bright. It's almost my bedtime. Oh, don't even have my watch on. Thank you guys for listening. Hopefully, I will get this last episode that needs to be uploaded. Hopefully, sometime this week, I will edit it, upload that. That way I can edit and upload this one. Probably going to take a minute, but thank you guys. Bye.